If you've ever been in any kind of relationship, friendship, dating, or any sort of family, you know that conflict is going to happen. There's no getting around it. You want a nicer vacation than your group of friends agreed to. Conflict. Your coworker accidentally hit reply all to your very sensitive email. Conflict. Your spouse spoke rudely to you or dismissed your feelings. Absolute conflict. It doesn't matter who you are, how successful or not successful you are, whether you're married or unmarried, or how much money you do or don't have. Conflict will be a part of your life. It's unavoidable. Where there are people, there will be conflict at one point or another. And since that's true, then it's essential we find a way to have disagreements without being dysfunctional. Like we said in our first session, one of the biggest challenges we face in handling conflict is that a lot of us have not seen it modeled well. For many of us, our family isn't the best at handling conflict well. Culturally, it's not handled all that well either. People take to social media to air their grievances, and depictions on shows aren't exactly healthy. We intentionally or unintentionally take our cues from what we see around us. And because of this, there's a chance that our reaction to conflict isn't great. Much of the conflict in our world, both on screen and in real life, is derived from one big emotion: anger. Anger is what makes reality TV so exciting. One simple disagreement can turn into a brawl on the front lawn. Anger is what makes long threads on social media so interesting and entertaining to read. Anger is what fuels political disagreements on cable news. Anger is interesting to watch, but in real life, and if left unchecked, it can turn unhealthy fast. See if you relate to any of these anger styles. The Incredible Hulk. Some sort of disagreement comes up and immediately your blood pressure rises. You start to sweat and the veins on your neck start to pulsate like you're the Hulk. When conflict arises, rage is your first response. Or maybe you're the Stuffer. When you sense conflict, you back off and distance yourself from other people. You let your mind stew on whatever is bothering you. And when someone asks you what's wrong, you say nothing, but inside you're boiling. Or how about the everything is great person? You hate conflict so much that you'll do just about anything to avoid it, including denying that it even exists. You totally ignore conflict and brush it under the rug so you don't have to deal with it. Or maybe you're the stealth attacker. You pretend everything is fine, even to the person who hurt you. But when they're not around, you immediately find subtle ways to talk about them behind their back, make them look bad, and win people over to your side. Those methods may work for a while, but let's be honest, they aren't exactly setting you up for success in your relationships. And when conflict knocks on your door and you respond one of these ways, it always ends up creating more stress in your life. But you can be different. You should be different. Because conflict is never going away. It's not a childhood thing. It's not a young adult thing. It's not a this stage of life thing. It's not a, well, this only happens with this particular person thing either. It's a human thing. You will always have a family member, a spouse, a friend, a boss, or a coworker who knows how to stir you up. Even your most trusted friends have the potential to create conflict in your life. But learning how to respond to them may be the very thing that saves your sanity and your relationships. Let's stop here for a minute. The Bible tells us that Jesus experienced every type of human emotion. But that can be hard to believe, right? Did Jesus really know what it felt like to get in an argument over HOA decisions? Did Jesus really know what it felt like to have someone start an argument on a Facebook post? Or to not get along with a coworker? Or have his child yell at him over a disagreement about their messy bedroom? Sometimes that seems impossible. But when it comes to conflict and communication, it isn't hard to imagine that Jesus can relate. He traveled around with a core group of 12 men for 3 years, having no idea where they would sleep from night to night or where their food would come from. And occasionally, he had to escape from overtly enthusiastic or angry mobs. It was not a conflict-free life. So we can take comfort in the fact that when Jesus taught us to live at peace, he said it from a place of understanding. With that in mind, let's move back to a time before Jesus was on earth. It's found in a passage from the book of Proverbs. Proverbs is a book filled with incredible advice and honest insights. And most of it was written by King Solomon, one of the most famous kings of Israel. Solomon asked God for wisdom, and God gave it to him. So legendary were Solomon's insights that he was considered the wisest man who ever lived. What I love about Proverbs is that while Solomon was really wise, he didn't always live in a wise way. That even though he knew the best thing to do, he didn't always do it, which I think gives him more credibility. What he shared was oftentimes wisdom he learned the hard way. In Proverbs 29:11, Solomon wrote this: "Fools give vent to their rage, but the wise bring calm in the end." This is so smart, especially when we consider Solomon's position. He was the most powerful man in the known world. He was rich and famous. He could do whatever he wanted, whenever he wanted. He was king. If he was angry, he could do powerful things with his anger, and no one was telling him to take a deep breath and think about it first. When you're the king, you're surrounded by people who agree with you, no matter what. Knowing this, there were probably plenty of times Solomon fully vented his anger. And he could do it because he was the king. No one would stop him. But based on this proverb, even kings eventually get to a place where they realize that letting their anger and frustration get the best of them isn't doing them any favors. See, it doesn't really matter if you can get away with your anger. In the end, you can't get away from the consequences your anger creates. That's what Solomon learned. Exploding with rage may make you feel better for a moment, but it doesn't make you or the relationship any better. Wise people know that. Ultimately, relationships are more important than a quick emotional release, which means our response to anger keeps us out of danger. And remember, anger doesn't look the same for everybody. No matter how you express it, this verse is for you. The foolish are led by their rage. The wise, on the other hand, feel anger, but they don't let it lead them. They don't let it control them. They don't let their anger call the shots. They know that in the end, anger never accomplishes its goal. Peace, or rather a calm response, will ultimately provide the outcome we want. So, how do we get to the place where we can feel angry without letting anger call the shots? How do we handle conflict in a way that allows us to feel frustration without letting it be the thing that decides how we handle the fight? There are 4 things you can practice immediately that will help you better handle conflict. These 4 things are from an acrostic from the word peer. If you're unfamiliar with that term, an acrostic is when you form a new word from the first letters of the original words. Now, imagine a pier at the ocean. A pier is a raised structure that goes out over the water. It allows choppy currents and tides to move beneath it while offering a steady and sturdy platform. Essentially, that's what these steps are going to do for you. They're going to give you the ability to stay above the rough water of conflict. First, P, pause. The problem with anger is it arrives quickly and demands an immediate reaction. We've all done something or said something in anger that we later wish we hadn't. Taking a few minutes to breathe allows our anger to lose some of its power. If, after that pause, you feel just as fired up, wait a bit longer. Take a walk, go for a run, read a book, do something that distracts you. If you're tired, wait to deal with the anger until the next day when you have some perspective and the conflict doesn't feel as consuming as it did the day before. So that's P, pause. And then I, identify. Sometimes we get so caught up in the emotion of conflict that we never take the time to figure out what's really bothering us. You may be mad at your significant other for not remembering you had plans, but maybe the anger is compounded by a rough day at work. Sure, you're frustrated that your child's teacher won't accept their late homework, but is that all that's going on? The truth is, our anger is rarely about one thing. It's usually a combination of several things. So we have to identify what's really bothering us. You'll do a better job finding a solution when you can identify the true problem. Next letter, E, express. It isn't bad to communicate when you feel like you've been wronged, as long as you do it in a healthy way. Once you've calmed down, make the effort to communicate face-to-face. Text, social media, and email allow too much room for misunderstanding. Plus, you can't hear someone's tone over text. Being able to see someone eye to eye allows you to communicate as clearly as possible. And it may keep you from saying something that's too easy to say through text, something you may later regret. Face-to-face allows you to see how your words impact someone. And finally, R, release. Eventually, you have to let it go. If you try to respond in a healthy way and nothing feels resolved, you have to come to terms with it. Make peace with the fact that you did what you could and it didn't go the way you wanted. It's time for forgiveness. You need to forgive and then forgive again. Releasing someone from what they owe you, whether or not they ask you, is ultimately what will bring you peace. Forgiveness takes practice. The good news is you'll have lots of chances to get better at it. If you want to get better at conflict, Peer is an incredible place to start. Pause, identify, express, and release. This will help you rise above conflict and stay steady and sturdy no matter what's going on around you. These steps will give you a response to anger that keeps you out of danger. Conflict is inevitable, and it's not bad. But the way you handle it will either take your life in a good or bad direction. So we have to learn how to control our anger without letting it control us. We have to learn not to blow up with rage, stuff it inside and pout, or totally ignore it. We have to learn to process it in a way that brings peace instead of getting us in a dangerous place. You don't have to learn the hard way. Instead, you can put in the hard work now and reap the benefits now and later. You won't regret it. So, as you head out, start thinking of the areas where you might have conflict in your life. What step of Peer do you need to take next? And how can you respond to anger in a way that keeps you out of danger?